Okay, so now that we have this done, let's do the next step, which is creating folders, a folder, and then cloning your GitHub repos that you've already set up prior to these steps, okay? So just to tell you before I get in there, I recommend as a naming standard for the folders that you use CIT, whatever the course number, okay? So as like it could be 93, 94, 85, not 85, 84, or 95. So there's a lot of different options. Make sure you check Canvas for your details, and then the semester and the year. And the reason I do this is that some students take multiple classes from me a semester, and this allows you to keep those things organized well. And then after I do that, I'll show you actually how to clone your public and your private repos. Now, for some classes, as an example, 82, you have an additional one, and you'll see some instruction in Canvas, or at least some wording to tell you to do that. All right, so I'm going to switch back over to my virtual environment again. And in this case, I've already logged into GitHub because prior to this step, you've already set up your GitHub account and you've been added into the course repos. So in this case, I'm just going to use, so again, see all the different versions. I'm going to use 82 in this case, okay? Just so I can give you, because again, this base this on whichever course that you're taking. And I'm going to clone these two. Which you should have already set up before now and possibly posted something into them. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is come down here and I'm going to, because there's multiple ways to create folders on your local system, and I suspect you know this, like you could use File Manager, totally fine. You could also use the command line. So if you don't know, in the command line, there's a mkdir. You can totally do that. And as you grow more in your experience with command line, you'll tend to want to use that because it's just it's something you're comfortable with. But since almost all of you this is new to you, what I'm going to do here is in VS Code, there's an option to open a folder. And when we do that, we actually have the ability to create that folder. So it's a little like when you click on it, you're like, I haven't created it. Well, you can create it now. So I'm going to say new, I'm going to click on, I think I could do this multiple ways, but I tend to keep my files organized on desktop. You could debate whether that's better than documents, right? Because documents might make sense. But for me, for whatever reason, that's where I like them. So now that I've clicked on there, I'm going to click a new folder. And now I'm going to call mine, like I told you, CIT. And in this case, I'm use whatever course number you have. Sorry. And then, and I capitalize FA. It's capitalized already, and then the year. Again, this will vary because this video could be used in a future semester. So check your setup. Okay. So now that I've done that, I've told VS Code I'm going to open a folder. I created a folder at the same time, and now I'm going to select that folder. So now what's really cool about this is now I can clone those two repos into my local system under a directory that will hold both of them. And again, this is the reason I recommend this is it's a nice standard to follow. Tells you what class it is, what number it is, what semester it was, right? It also allows you to take multiple classes because in all of my classes, I typically have students do a public and a private repo inside of our course. All right, so now I'm actually going to bring that terminal back. And again, now it's defaulting to bash because that's the way I set it up. I showed that earlier. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is here, and actually I think what I'm going to do before I do this, just to kind of make this a little more obvious, right, is I can actually increase the font. And again, you're going to learn more about this interface, but for now, what we're going to do is we're going to do Git Clone. Now what happens is, and this is why it's really important that you have whatever base folder you're in to have it active. Now, by the way, let me just do this. PWD even though in this case, git bash on Windows tells me what folder I'm in, it's just good to verify, oh yeah, that's the folder I want to be in, okay? And so I'm going to do git clone here, and what this is going to do, it's going to connect my local system to a repo out on GitHub, but what I have to do is grab the URL. So let me show you how to do that. Let's do the private one, okay? Again, I've given you already instruction for how to create these. So now I'm just showing you because all classes do this. So in GitHub, there are two ways, HTTP and SSH. And as you grow more in using command line, you will find there's reasons to use SSH, there's reasons to use HTTP. Now, HTTPS is typically easier for people that are new to this, because here's really all they have to do. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to come back to VS Code. And now I'm going to paste it. Now, in this case, because of Windows, if I just right click there, it just pasted it. You could also do the keyboard shortcuts. So it's really good when you're first working in command line, you just slow down. Now, what's going to happen as soon as I hit enter here, it's going to go out and attempt to find, and it's like, hey, you need to authenticate into GitHub before I can do what you're trying to do, and that's good. So whatever your GitHub login, you can either use your email or whatever password you set up there, okay? But what this is doing, and I'm going to go ahead and log in, this then is connecting, it's authenticating, it's storing some credentials on my local system for me to be able to connect my local system to GitHub, okay? So that's cool. So now you're going to be coding in, and again, this is where you look specifically into Canvas to see how I want it done. But just know we could go ahead and clone that other one. Now, the last thing, and I'm not going to walk you through the next one because I think you have this by now. The important thing is remember where you're at. Remember that this is the holding folder that's going to hold the repos that you have for this course, okay? So make sure you're in the right one. And I say this because, and I will end with this, one of the things I like to do is have all of my repos for the course opened like this. But if you wanted to have only this one particular one open, you could do that as well. Let me just show you, open folder. And now in here, I could choose just that private one. And what that would do then is in my folder structure, I would only see that one. And notice what will happen in my terminal. In my terminal now, my standard directory is going to point to the one that I'm actively open. Now, why am I showing you this? I'm showing you this because if you're using the way I showed it before, which is opening that holding folder, you have to just make sure you're navigating to the right directory before you're either running commands or other things that you need to do for the course specific activity that you're doing. That's all. Okay, I hope this helps you out. Again, what we would do, what you would need to do is look at the instruction that I've given you on Canvas. You'll probably, I know, at least go and now clone the public one, but you now know how to do that. Again, with the way I just showed it here, you wouldn't want to do it here because that would place it inside that directory. If I was cloning the next one, I'd probably go back to just opening that base folder right there. That's how I would do it. Oh, not there, actually. Right there. But I think that's right. Yeah, actually there. I'm glad I showed that because sometimes you just be a little bit more careful. Oh, no. Well, thanks, Windows. Let me try to get out of this. Let me try this again. So I'm opening a folder and I'm currently in this one. So if I click here and I just click one time, I select that. Oh, there it goes. I don't know what, you know what it was doing? It was opening I didn't stop and read it slowly enough. And again, stopping and reading is a good thing. So here's where now that I have that directory open, right? pwd is great. Again, this is nice because git bash will show you the directory. And so here I can git clone and get that other URL for my public one, because again, all classes have a public and a private repo. At minimum, some have more. Hope this video helped you understand some of the basics for doing that. Talk to you soon.